Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 1. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you as a special possession, and you have conquered it and settled there. Verse 2. Put some of the first produce from each crop you have harvested into a basket, and bring it to the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored. Verse 3. Go to the priest in charge at that time, and say to him, with this gift I acknowledge to the Lord your God that I have entered the land he swore to our ancestors he will give us. Verse 4. The priest will then take the basket from your hand and set it before the altar of the Lord your God. Verse 5. You must then say in the presence of the Lord your God, my ancestor Jacob was a wandering Aramean who went to live as foreigner in Egypt. His family arrived few in number, but in Egypt they became a large and mighty nation. Verse 6. When the Egyptians oppressed and humiliated us by making us their slave. Verse 7. We cried out to the Lord, and the God of our ancestors, he heard our cries and saw our hardship, toil, and oppression. Verse 8. So the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a strong hand and powerful arm, with overwhelming terror, and with miraculous signs and wonders. Verse 9. He brought us to this place and gave us this land, flowing with milk and honey. Verse 10. And now, O Lord, I have brought you the first portion of the harvest you have given me from the ground. Then place the produce before the Lord your God, and bow to the ground in worship before him. Verse 11. Afterward, you may go and celebrate because of all the good things the Lord your God has given you and your household. Remember to include the Levites and the foreigners living among you in the celebration. Verse 12. Every third year you must offer a special tithe of your crops. In this year of the special tithe, you must give your tithe to the Levites, foreigners, orphans, and widows, so that they will have enough to eat in your towns. Verse 13. Then you must declare in the presence of the Lord your God, I have taken the sacred gifts from my house and have given it to the Levites, foreigners, orphans, and widows, just as you commanded me. I have not violated or forgotten any of your commands. Verse 14. I have not eaten any of it while in mourning. I have not handled it while I was ceremonially unclean, and I have not offered any of it to the dead. I have obeyed the Lord my God and have done everything you commanded me. Verse 15. Now look down from your holy dwelling place in heaven and bless your people Israel and the land you swore to our ancestors to give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. Verse 16. Today the Lord your God has commanded you to obey all these decrees and regulations, so be careful to obey them wholeheartedly. Verse 13. You have declared today that the Lord is your God, and you have promised to walk in his ways and to obey his decrees, commands, and regulations, and do everything he tells you. Verse 18. The Lord has declared today that you are his people, his own special treasure, just as he promised, and that you must obey all his commands. Verse 19. And if you do, he will set you high above all the other nations he has made. Then you will receive praise, honor, and renown. You will be a nation that is holy to the Lord your God, just as he promised. Amen.